I'm back. Rudrance for Black and White Network. Well, this is what happens when progressive politics meets good old-fashioned law and order. The police have had enough. I mean, the devaluing and defunding of the police in this country is repugnant. These progressive radicals are coming in, even into small towns, even into North Carolina. And this entire police force said, nah, we're not having it. We're out of here. And I don't blame them. I really don't, because they're not getting the backing, the support they need from the people in charge in order to do their jobs. We got a real crime problem in this country. We got a terrible crime problem. And the fact is, we need to be greatly refunding and funding, continuing to fund the police in this country so they can better do their jobs. I'm sorry. I'm going to say something. It maybe offend somebody, but in these war zones like New York, places in California, Chicago, I'd militarize the police. I would. Enough is enough. I would go in there and get this gang warfare, this urban warfare, all this crime. It would be done. It would be done. There would be a hard line drawn in this country. You're either going to be on the side of law and order or you're not. And then that's going to be a problem. Plain and simple. Let's take a look at this. Wow, this is crazy. Daily Wire. Entire police force in North Carolina town resigns in protest of progressive town manager. The entire police force walked off and quit. Wow. The entire police force in a North Carolina town, including the veteran chief, resigned Thursday over a new town manager who calls herself, quote, progressively responsible. Those two words don't even go together. Kenly Police Chief Josh Gibson wrote in a Facebook post he and all 5 of his officers, as well as 2 other town officials, quit in protest of Justine Jones. Jones, who became town manager last month, has created, quote, a hostile work environment, Gibson claimed. Let me guess. You voted in, or you brought in, or you hired in a police hater. Okay. I have put in my 2 weeks' notice along with my whole police department, wrote Gibson, who has been on the Kenly force for 21 years. The new manager has created an environment I do not feel we can perform our duties and services to the community. In other words, they're probably going to start arresting people, and they're probably going to start getting released. She's not going to back her cops. Wow. Congratulations. Gibson did not specify what his beef was with Jones, who started the job on June 2nd after what the town called, quote, a nationwide search. The news release announcing her hiring lauded her for having, quote, worked in progressively responsible positions. Why is the word progressively involved in this? Why is that a qualification? How is that qualification? I'd love to know. It did not mention that Jones had sued a prior employer, Richland County, South Carolina, for gender and racial discrimination after being fired in 2015, according to WRAL. The suit was later dismissed. So, in other words, when this doesn't go right and you come to your senses, she's going to sue you and call you a racist. Boy, be careful. Be careful, people. Wow. Jones has 2 master's degrees, so she thinks she's the smartest person in the room right off the bat. I bet she came in and immediately tried to outthink everybody. 1 in public policy from Humphrey School at the University of Minnesota, and a second one in public administration from the City University of New York, Greenwich College. Prior to taking the job in Kenly, she listed herself on LinkedIn as, quote, principal CEO of her own consulting company, Word of Mouth Real Time. Jones declined to discuss the mass resignation, telling the station she was, quote, not at liberty to talk because of a personal matter. Gibson said in his resignation letter he would consider coming back if Jones was fired. Town attorney Chip Hewitt told WRAL that the town would hold an emergency meeting Friday night to discuss how the town would be handling public safety. That doesn't sound promising. Quote, "We just learned about this and it affects the entire police force and staff members," Hewitt said. "We are looking at having an emergency special meeting to figure out how to move forward with it." Johnston County Sheriff Steve Brizzle said his office would patrol Kinley. Quote, "I will be there for the people of Kinley, and they can rest assured they will have deputies patrolling the streets." He said Kinley, about 45 miles southwest of Raleigh, has a population just under 200. Its nickname is Friendly Kinley. Why on earth would this city hire a radical progressive in a city of 2,000 people? People that are going to have traditional values in North Carolina. Good family people. And they're going to come in and they're going to turn this small town, this woman will, likely into a hellhole. Wow. Wow. I mean, you have nobody to cover crime outside the sheriff department, and look, they're going to have an entire county to cover, not just a city. Kudos to the sheriff, by the way, for stepping up. I'm sure he absolutely understands, and he understands that he doesn't fall under the order, I'm sure, of this Justine Jones, who sounds like a nightmare. You gotta watch it. This is coming to a small town near you. Not just the big towns, not just New York. I mean, think about this. Not just New York, not just Chicago, not just Portland, not just Seattle. A little town in North Carolina of 2,000 people, and you got a radical progressive that has been brought in, I'm sure hates the police, I'm sure has the false sense that the police is out to get all black people, and she just successfully ran off everybody in the police department. My guess is probably a police department where the actual officers and the chief are probably beloved. That's usually how that goes down in a small town. Yeah, we actually like our law enforcement. Wow. Wow. Crazy. Tell me what you think, Black and White Network supporters. That's the kind of thing we got to cover more often. This is nuts. Progressively what? Progressively ruining a town near you. Peace. I'm out. Till next time. Black and White Network supporters, make sure you check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. Link in the description. Use promo code USA First, all one word. USA First, all one word. 25% off now.